Hello, welcome from ZXOTV.news, a flagship brand under Techplus Media Group. I am Anand Sharma from Techplus Media, your host for today's event. We have been running this webinar series titled Marketing Mondays since the lockdown started to provide a platform to marketeers to learn from fellow marketing gurus. Well, today is the second Marketing Mondays in this new year 2021. And what could be a better way for marketeers to start the year with some more learnings, enriching our knowledge from the marketing gurus? As we move on, let us see what lies ahead of us in 2021 and how to make best use of it. We have heard a lot of information about video marketing, and let us explore more about it today. The key agenda items we plan to touch today are as follows: video marketing outlook in 2021, new challenges and strategies to be adopted, the why and why not of video marketing. In case you want us to cover any other topic or have a question, please mention that in the Q&A section or chat panel. We have an eminent panel today. I'll request them to do a quick self-introduction in the alphabetical order of the names. So Ashima, why don't you start, please?
Hey, thanks, Anand, and truly appreciate the opportunity that Techplus Media has provided here. And thanks for having me for this webinar. So hi all, I'm Ashima Mathur. I'm the head marketing for Pitney India. Working with Pitney for the last 6.5 years. We are shipping and mailing solution providers, and have a huge range of softwares, hardware, and solutions across shipping, e-commerce, and mailing industry. So I have been working with Pitney for the last 6.5 years, and prior to that, I was with IBM. I was the government and smart cities head, India, South Asia. Worked there for close to 4 years, and prior to that, I was with CSC, which is now DXC Technologies, and was a marketing manager for infrastructure services. Worked there for 5 years. And prior to that, I was with Pitney and Pitney Computers, which is now Capgemini, and We Customer, which is now Tech Mahindra. So close to 20 years of experience, primarily in sales support, business development, and last 15 years have been working with marketing. So have seen that journey where marketing used to be a support function, and now we are an enabler. We are a contributors to the entire revenue engine of the business. So been through a great journey so far, and look forward to have a discussion here. I hope I'm able to give inputs to the marketeers and the people who are listening to this webinar.
Hey Danveer, why didn't you introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Anand, for having me. My name is Danveer Bhasin. I head global marketing and corporate communications for STARTEK. STARTEK is a very large global customer experience management and business process services organization. We have presence in across 13 countries with 40,000 people globally. As part of my role, I'm responsible for driving global marketing in terms of presence marketing, recognition marketing, and intelligence marketing. So that's something what I do for my bread and butter. That's marketing and storytelling. Before STARTEK, I was working with Aegis Limited. I was with Aegis for a little over 8 years. I led their global marketing across various countries that they had operations in. Before Aegis, I was working with a company called Ugam Solutions. I was based out of India and US both, driving marketing communications for a lot of online businesses that they cater to. And then I was also working with Wipro. So I've got over like 17 years of experience just in marketing and corporate communication. That's what I've been doing all this while. I think video marketing is at the cusp of what we are, especially with the entire future of work and the entire gamification piece that's coming into the picture. I'm very excited for this panel, and I would love to add value as we go about.
Our third and last, but certainly not the least, panelist is Mr. Promit Sanyal. Promit, would you do a self-introduction, please?
Sure, Anand, and thanks for having me on this panel. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm Promit Sanyal, and I head marketing and alliances for Moonraft Innovation Labs. We are a design-driven customer experience firm, and we help our clients design and deliver digital experiences that drive business outcomes. Right. I've been in Moonraft for about 5 years now, and have seen the journey from Moonraft being a boutique design firm to almost a 300-member team right now. Again, I think Moonraft as a company, we believe that most digital experiences in the world are broken, and they need serious fixing, and we are on a mission to do that. For us, it's all about the user, the human, as the human-centered design they talk about. So it's all about the user and how we can design experiences for the user, and technology acts as an enabler to that, right? So my responsibilities typically include marketing and alliances roles for regions across the globe. So we have presence. We're headquartered in Bangalore, but we've got offices in Southern California, in Atlanta, in South Africa, and another one in Pune. And we are seeing rapid expansion in terms of our presence across the globe. Before this, I've had quite an interesting and varied career in terms of my marketing experience. I started my marketing career with JSW Steel, and I was actually selling steel in Faridabad, Loha Mandi, which was very different to what I do now. And from there, I moved to a diametrically opposite role where I joined as a product marketing manager at Subex. Subex was a product marketing company, a very popular and still is a very, very good product marketing firm. A product firm. And then from there, I joined another startup, and then from there, I joined Wipro, which is a behemoth, right? And I used to head marketing for the cybersecurity services there. And from there, I again wanted to join the whole startup industry, and I always wanted to get into the customer experience and the design side of things. I was always very, very interested in what Moonraft was doing, and then the kind of cutting edge work that Moonraft was doing. So I thought of joining Moonraft, and here I am. And yeah, looking forward to this discussion. It's an interesting topic, and happy to be a part of the panel.
Thank you so much, Promit, and same here. So, friends, you can see we have an eminent panel today, right? And with most of our time that gets spent these days is being hooked up on laptops and mobile, the on-screen hours have increased for many of us, right? Video content is all the more popular as compared to textual content. For this reason, not only the advertising platforms, but also the advertising content has to be more video, right? You can check about our website for stats. The video content is, selling almost 40% more as compared to, the other contents. So there's content marketing of video. There's video testimonials, video interviews, corporate videos, training videos, explainer videos, and whatnot. We are well aware of the platforms like YouTube and TikTok, which is of ByteDance, and the OTT platforms have been in news recently for regulations, etc. So you can see, more or less, there's one or the other video we are talking about. We have been talking about storytelling, right? And what could be a better way of connecting with the customers than through a video? However, just like any other platform or medium, there are pros and cons. Let's explore as to what are the challenges and strategies we should keep in mind as far as video marketing is concerned. The views expressed by the speakers are their own and may not represent the viewpoint of their organization they work with. So with this disclaimer, let me start with Ashima. Ashima, what is video marketing? Let's first put the facts or basics right for everybody. Is it the video content or the marketing in video platforms, or both? Over to you, Ashima.
The core of your whole marketing strategy, and I think when you are building upon it, and when you are fixing certain elements of your whole content piece, I'm not talking about the demand generation, but the content piece where you are trying to influence your prospects and customers with the information, with the product details, with the descriptions. And as you rightly said, there could be 10 different ways we build videos. It could be a product showcase or product video, or enablement video, or a leadership talking to the customers and to internal stakeholders as well. So there are varied forms of videos, and so you need to be very careful in drafting your strategy in whether you want to go for a video marketing kind of a channel or not. And when you are able to decide on your product segment, what your target segment, and does it fit the video marketing, does it fit well to your entire execution of your content strategy, I think that's how video marketing comes into play. And what typically happens, as you asked me this question of, I think it is both. You need video content as well as platforms to really disseminate this content. And as you said, we have several platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and where you can directly make a video and post it. But it may not be so easy in a B2B or a B2C kind of environment. And maybe I will talk about it later in great detail. So I think for me, for any marketer, I think it is at the crux, of your whole strategy, how much budgets you have. I think video marketing is just not about, creating a video. You need resources, you need money, you need how, once you have created this asset, how you are going to distribute it to bring about that kind of results that you are trying to achieve. Either it could be brand building, it could be recall, it could be building mind share, or it's just about disseminating information. So even if you're disseminating information, you have to make sure that maybe in 6 months time frame or a year time frame, or we see it from Q1, from 2 quarters in advance. Every marketer needs to think through that how my pipeline, how my opportunities will look 2 quarters down the line. You have to plan it accordingly. Your videos are not going to generate you leads immediately. So, but it does impact a customer or a prospect mindset, because when he's watching the video, he will remember it for a long time, rather than reading an EDM or a content piece or a brochure. So he will remember, or he or she will remember, and whenever they are making that decision to buy, I think your brand would have a very higher chances of that he chooses your brand or your product. So it's just not about having video marketing as a channel. I think you need to think through 360 degree as a marketer to really define how much and what do you expect, because the ROI is not immediate. I can tell you that. It's something which spread across months and maybe quarters, and but it's definitely a very good tool to boost mind share building and to disseminate information. That's what I believe.
Sure. Thanks, Ashima. So Danveer, you are working, you are also managing corporate communications. How are you leveraging video content from corporate communication perspective?
Thanks, Anand, for getting that question to me. So let me just put some context to it. Video is channel and platform agnostic. It's omni-channel right now, right? So what started in 2016 and 2017 as a singular marketing tactic is now tend to become a holistic business approach strategy, right? By 2018, 2019, it was just not marketing which was consuming the video assets. You have IT, you have operations and others. So it's become very critical to your entire business approach, your video marketing. I think it's a more holistic business approach of storytelling. It actually helps you to deliver more out of less. A normal press release or a banner will have only few 5 or 7 words, and you have to communicate a lot more. But what a video enables you to do, it actually enables you to sensitize, attract, and retain attention. So it helps brands to deliver more out of less, a particular asset. I'm just going to throw some statistics which I'm able to get from the website. Now, just having a video in your entire marketing outreach approach or communication outreach approach increase your conversion rate by 80%. And email marketing, where we actually go ahead and struggle with returns and reverts or even open rates, but just adding a video asset to it improves your open rate by 19%. 90% of consumer refer with videos in their buying decisions. Like if you see brands like Mathur and others, they have a video strategy. So they actually showcase you how a shoe is being worn, what sizes work, what sizes don't work, what a piece of apparel is worn, and how it is worn. So that's educating the customer and going about it. Coming back to your question about how communication teams are now leveraging video assets, I think video assets are multifaceted right now. You use video for your brand outreach, your communication, your demos. You do it for your events and subject matter interviews. You do videos for your case studies and point of views. It's important for you to understand who your target market is and what you want to communicate. That's something which I would like to put the record straight. From a corporate communication perspective, I see a lot of brands, and like us, we go ahead and issue press releases. But now you see a lot of brands coming out with doing video press releases where we have crux bullet points being communicated in a more video format to garner more attention and expand the reach. Communication in terms of videos is also helping us to drive internal communications, building pride and brand. With the entire work from home coming in, where majority of the workforce are virtual and embracing the future of work, it's the video which is actually connecting them with the brand and helping them connect with the leadership team. So I think these are some elements how video marketing is helping majority of the teams, including the corporate communication function.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks. That was great. Promit, what is your take for video marketing when it comes to, let's say, design or CX, customer experience, or something like that?
Yeah, and very valid points made by Danveer and Ashima, right? I think so. See, here's the thing: video these days, I don't think it's a choice, right? I mean, you have to be there. I think it's just depending on what kind of format you use video in, right? For us in the design and CX industry, I think the key problem that we want to address first is I think a lot of people need to be still educated about the value that design brings to the table, right? So you will find that in our strategy, a lot of the video marketing that we do is around explaining what design is or how design made a difference for certain areas, right? Or maybe just explaining about design concepts, right? Because I think it's globally, while the importance of design is growing, I think in India, we still have some way to go in terms of appreciating design as a field, right? But yeah, I think it's improving with exposure to global apps, global platforms. But we definitely see that as one of the areas where we focus our video strategy on. The other thing which is very important for us is also that basically I need to for any marketer, right? You need to be where your consumer is, and you need to be in the channel where he or she is consuming the content, right? We are a B2B services firm, right? So we typically target a lot of the B2B clients on on very specific channels, and the videos are also very similar to the kind of result we want out of it. So the videos are a lot around explainer videos or case studies or testimonials or just the kind of work we do to actually showcase the kind of brand that we are, right? And we've actually seen that when you and it's a proven fact that when you have video explaining something, like Ashima mentioned, that you actually tend to remember it much more, right? And if your storyline is good, and if your narrative and the storytelling, which should be endemic to every marketer, if your storytelling is good, video impact can be just exponential, right? So predominantly our focus from a marketing strategy or for the design CX industry is a lot of B2B. But I think from a brand perspective, we also have, in terms of our social presence, the kind of videos that go out there, right? So we have the format and the content of those videos are much different, right? Because these days, if you see that the shelf life of content on social media is extremely low, so you constantly need to keep churning out content, and next day there has to be something fresher. And also typically, the much overused word of snackable content, right? So you really want small bits of information packaged in videos out there on social media, so that even when, suppose tomorrow you're on LinkedIn and you're scrolling through the LinkedIn page, and the autoplay starts, you should be able to understand in the first 5 seconds or the first 4 seconds that, okay, this is what the video is about, and should I go ahead next, right? Yeah, so just we try and keep our video strategy fluid that way, depending on which channel and what is the context, and that's how we roll, so as to say. Yeah.
So perfectly with you. Yeah. So I'll share my experience at Techplus Media. We have been experiencing huge surge in video marketing demand. Okay, when we do video testimonial, wherein your customer is watching for your products or services, so it takes your offering a couple of notches up. Because there's a video validation from your customer, and it's for everybody to watch, right? So with this in mind, Ashima, how can you leverage what do you say is how we can leverage in B2B and B2C environment, how we can leverage video marketing?
I talked about that, having to put across video marketing as part of your core strategy, and it clearly depends on, on your products and your target segment. I think post-COVID era, every company, is looking at digitizing every piece, every function of their organization, be it, moving on to sales, how many people can we close online, as in, getting POs and, getting that all the, conversations and processes and proposal submission, everything that we are trying to do online. And then we are also, we are no more encouraging our sales teams to really go and meet the customers face to face. Everyone is shying away to really go and meet. Right. So I think the demo videos have become very critical now. And not only, I'm talking about the B2B environment where, we are dealing with the businesses and, offices directly. And I think demo videos, that is, coming up. So, everybody's just going after it. And then post sales and, the after sales services. Who does want an engineer coming over? I think most likely we would like to resolve those issues on our own than having to call a person in the office or at home to resolve those. So there is a lot of emphasis on the troubleshooting videos as well. So it is so for the marketing team, it has become so critical that we are able to digitize all these assets and think through the perspective of a customer, whether he would like to read through it or he would like to watch through it, and provide that asset. So of course, for myself, I think we are 100 years old company. Pitney Bowes is a 100 years old company, and in last 6 months, the kind of digitization we have seen, we have brought all the, of course, marketing was digitized earlier as well, but now what next? Do we need to do, bring sales, services, supplies, the whole consumables business? So that's something which is, it has made everyone think through their strategy, and actually video is the crux. I have teams who are, building videos on their iPhones, on their Samsungs, and to keep it cheaper, rather make it simpler, 1 minute video, so that the customer doesn't have to spend too much of time. And so these are some of the tricks and some of the suggestions I would have, that while you are working on digitization, for your company, I think look through it and see how video can be part of it. And I think these days you can use your phones. from B2C environment, and also I forgot to mention that the video testimonials. I think the customers, while they're talking about how their experience has been with the products, with our solutions, with our services, I think it hits the right chord when the customer is actually talking. And all these, all these technologies, be it Zoom, Teams, any of these, technology we use, we don't have to really spend a lot of money in getting these videos through. And we have some backend tools to make it jazzy and add all those graphics. So that's also quite interesting. And from B2C standpoint, I think you would be seeing a lot of e-commerce platforms like Myntra and Flipkart and Amazons. They are adding videos of the products. So basically, you are able to really see the product from all the angles. So that gives a trust. That gives a confidence in the customer to really see that, okay, this is the right kind of product that I want to buy. And I mean, the quality has been so good that even in terms of apparels, you are able to, make out the quality of the cloth or the quality of, the material and all that. So that is the kind of investment, especially in e-commerce segment, the companies are doing. And then you don't need any kind of, references or reviews or anything like that. And then again, I think that those days of, as Danveer mentioned about corporate communication, I think those days are gone where, the leadership used to write mails and, write to, we were supposed to disseminate all those EDMs to our customer base. I think 2 minutes or maybe 1.5 minutes video by our leader, I think communicates better value proposition than any piece in content or in your collaterals. So that's something which is changing, and I think everyone needs to. I mean, all of us in marketing needs to think through it, and depending on our budgets, of course, we are very much critical. I mean, I am responsible for generating 10x of pipeline for every dollar spent. So I can imagine the stress each one of us go through, and in terms of delivering that value to the business. So it goes back to your overall strategy and how do you want to play it. So I think there are some cheaper ways to develop these videos as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Sure. So very nice analysis or dissection of how to leverage it in B2B and B2C perspective. So flipping the question slightly, and looking at it from a different point of view, Danveer, how does video marketing evolve with perspective from future of work, or let's say work from home? You can add global perspective or perspective from India.
So Anand, very interesting question. And just before getting onto this session, I was just doing some research online. And what I realized that 80% of the entire IP traffic online by 2022 would be video, right? It's going to be that critical for us. Now, with future of work and work from home virtualization, there has been hyper adoption of video marketing, video case studies, or video as a service for internal and external communication and marketing outreach. But Anand, let me tell you something. If there's a hyper adoption, there will also lead to hyper abandonment. So what you go ahead and takes quicker, faster time to reach up comes down even faster. So we have to keep fueling it with oil to make the pickle flourish. And that is where marketers like us into the picture. We have to go ahead and keep innovating, keep fueling it so that there is more innovation for us to do more out of video communication. And something which we can talk about. I think with work from home and the entire future of work, some of the key skills that we are looking at from an employee perspective is on data security, cyber security, email etiquettes, customer experience management, social media etiquette, all these kind of changes or behavioral training aspects which an organization wants to impart to its employees is now happening through video, through gamification. The companies are now creating games, proprietary content internally to seed these behavioral changes to its employees. So So that is the power of video communication or video marketing going from an entire virtual perspective. I think also in terms of talking about virtual reality and artificial intelligence, there were times where clients used to visit facilities and tech companies to see what kind of campuses they have or what kind of facilities they have, how the the platforms will look at, the work would go ahead. That is now being replaced by AR, VR, and AI, where you could actually be sitting out of Dallas, and then you could be looking at some facilities in India or Malaysia or Philippines or Vietnam to see how an operation work is being done and how things are being driven about. So I think video has really transformed the way we do business in. So people are more connected yet being far away. So these were from my 2 cents about how videos can be used innovative, especially in these COVID times.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And I'd also request you to draw from your experience of working in the outsourcing industry, as we move forward. So very valid points. Promit, moving on to you, Promit, from Innovation Labs perspective, what are your recommendations for video marketeers?
Basically, I think from a Moonraft Innovation Labs perspective, or just my outlook on how we think of videos, right? And how, see, I think one big change which marketers need to understand in terms of video marketing is that the evolution of video marketing which has happened thanks to the evolution of the technology which powers it, right? So if you look at earlier, the biggest challenge used to be, one is that, to get a big or a good video out, you needed lots of budgets, you needed a top-notch content creation team, you needed top-notch technology, you needed a lot of money to actually promote it and accelerate consumption. I think now what has happened is, thanks to the phone. So basically, something, the iPhone in your hand is probably so powerful that it has changed the whole game drastically, right? So there has been this, as I would say, this democratization of the entire process of video making, right? So today, a marketer or any startup or anyone can become a creator. The tools and the filters and the kind of editing which can be done free of cost or at nominal cost is fantastic, right? And also it can actually make your video really top notch, and then digital then actually helps you target the exact kind of audience you want to reach, right? So once you understand that how this whole ecosystem has evolved, I think there is a huge shift in how video marketing can be taken through, right? I mean, we've spoken in terms of B2B, but even think of it from a B2C perspective, right? So I'm based in Bangalore, and in Bangalore you have a lot of these small entrepreneurs, right? So I'm a huge fan of bakery and bakery products and bread, right? So you have a lot of these sourdough bread vendors in Bangalore who are doing their version of D2C, right? So they basically put up their products on Instagram, and then you can actually directly buy from Instagram, or they have a WhatsApp link where you can. But imagine the power that they have, that they can create a video of just baking the bread from their home on their phone and put it up on Instagram, and you have a set of a high value, high net followers who basically see that video and are purchasing from you, right? So this digital and technology, they've actually opened up the window a great deal. And just one more point I would like to make, taking forward from what Ashima was talking about, B2B and B2C. I think there has been this blurring of lines between B2B and B2C, right? I think slowly we see that the B2B videos and the content for videos which come out for B2B is actually becoming like B2C, right? If you see, there was a very popular viral video which ServiceNow released about them getting back to work, right? It was a really funny video advertisement, and if you see that ad, you'll think, oh, this is must be some B2C company, but it was actually a B2B company, right? And the reason for that, and that's something which we see in the design and the digital experience field as well, The reason is that your B2B client is also a B2C client at the end of the day, right? So he might be B2B during 9 to 5, but at the same time, he is someone who's spending 4 hours on YouTube. He's someone who's probably on TikTok before it was banned, or he's he's on Facebook or Instagram Reels. So we need to keep that in mind, and I think B2B needs to start to get its creatives a little more edgier, wackier, and to stand out of the clutter which is already there.
I'm just relating to what Danveer was mentioning, that gone are the days when we had clients to visit our facilities to see as to what's happening. Now we can do a video shoot of our facility, or rather they can also watch it online, real time. Sorry, yeah, and they can see as to what's happening there, right? So from Innovation Labs perspective, Promit, what sort of leveraging you are doing from video marketing perspective?
One of the things what we try and definitely do, and also suggest our customers, is that any sort of communication where you can embed video and you can ensure that the video is authentic and relatable, you should use it, right? There are, at end of the day, there are still certain shortcomings which video has, right? In the sense, while this pandemic has forced people to work from home, if you ask any person who's in a high touch or a consultative sell kind of an industry, for them it's still a tough job, right? And those are problems which people are trying to solve. There's still some way to go, but people are getting better at it, right? So, for example, one of the big things is you want to see the body language of the person, right? And then probably in the communication or video conferences, or at any point of time, you want to adapt the situation or the narrative as per that, right? Can video become interactive like that, right? Can video actually try and help us address that problem? So one of the things what we typically do is, and we've always seen that in terms of digital and video, the trends, and you can hold me to it, but the trends basically start always in China and the eastern the eastern countries there, right? So China, Korea is where you'll see all these key trends or the advancements start. Then they come to Southeast Asia, then they go to US and India. That's how typically, if you see the trends flow. And if you look at the Chinese video industry and the kind of analytics they have and the kind of personalization they have, the kind of shoppable experiences that they can produce, I think that's where we would ideally like to go. Obviously, the consumer needs to be ready for it, and the consumer needs to be able to engage accordingly. But if you look at the Chinese industry, like I was reading one stat the other day, that the video e-commerce industry in China is about $137 billion a year, right? Now, if you compare that to the overall US ad spends, digital ad spends, that's $135 billion, right? So just the Chinese video e-commerce is at that level, and the shopping experiences, the kind of industry they have just for content creation. So they actually have training institutes where they train video influencers to create content, right? And that's just become the next way, because you can then choose the cloth on the video, you can get personalized recommendations, you can actually purchase it online, the shoppable e-commerce experience comes through. And that's where I think the industry is going, and that's where we see the future coming up.
No, absolutely. China, even does video marketing of their army also very well. So that's perfectly, I'm in sync, with you.
Yeah, the narratives are at a different level. Yes.
Absolutely. So Ashima, moving on to you, what's your recommendation for video marketers? What they should do, what they should not do, and what they should focus on, so on and so forth. Over to you, Ashima.
Yeah, sure. So I agree with Danveer. The moment you start building these content, the video content and the videos, it starts, you need to keep updating it. So I think, and taking the cue from Promit, that how even bakers and several boutiques and selling on Instagram reels. I think the way they generate this content is commendable. But for marketeers who are in a B2B kind of environment, it does become challenging, to have a calendar in place. So what I would suggest is, as I keep repeating that, you need to be very sure of your resources. I think build a calendar. How do you want to go about your content strategy? I mean, of course, linking it back to analytics and linking it back to ROI is a different ball game altogether. But I think you need to have a calendar in place, for your video marketing. I think even if and do not miss the opportunities where you are launching a new product or you're bringing a new version of your of your product, or you are trying to enable your customers to use these products better. And for that matter, those are the key opportunities that nobody should miss. And spend. I mean, of course, a good video where you are hiring a good agency, or you are trying to do it yourself to save some cost. It needs to be laid down well in advance, and pretty in times of the resources you have. So number one is building a calendar. Number two is not missing out on any opportunity. I think this is that, and another one is third. Once this product or is live or launched, how do you want to people look at it? Weave in a story or a messaging which is more of storytelling. I think people are no more used to feature-based, description-based videos. They want to see how this product is impacting a customer's life, how it is making convenient for them to really use this kind of product. And storytelling actually gives us an opportunity to have different versions of the same content or the same messaging. So and link it to any social initiative. I think I would like to quote Dettol's Safe Hand initiative where they installed these dispensers in a slum area, and promoting hygiene in people living there. And I think look at where we are today. I think none of us can really afford to not washing our hands or sanitizing our hands for more than 1 hour or so. So this is the kind of storytelling you need to build around your products. And I think once it is registered with the customer, I'm sure no one can ignore it. So that's something it is. And of course, your testimonials, your client references, make sure that it goes on videos, because even though it's lying, once you have promoted it, and you cannot create a new content every now and then, it should be there on your website, on your YouTube channel, so that people can refer back to it every time they need some more information. So these are the combinations I would suggest to the video marketers, to promote their products. So yeah.
Sure. Well, thank you so much. And I seriously appreciate the point-wise recommendation that you shared. Danveer, quickly moving on to you. Anything that you want to change from video marketing perspective? What would be that wish?
So I think Ashima and Promit both have been able to go ahead and hit the nail on its bullet about what we should be doing and what we shouldn't. From a B2B perspective, what I could add is that video marketing helps us become B2B2C. It's business to business to consumers, right? It helps us evolve. So for the marketers, I know we need to create videos for optimization and growth marketing initiatives, but just focus to stimulate trust, competitiveness, and getting personal. It's very important to go ahead and create these three elements in your video ads, because that's where your customers are looking at. I think focus on the story, not the sales. A lot of times when we do case studies, a point of view, we ensure to go ahead and keep the sales objective before the storyline. So focus on the story, not the sales. Focus on that emotional power and the customer desire rather than your desire. So that's something which we need to go ahead and position some of the things. I think the first 10 seconds of your video is very crucial because that's where your bounce rate comes up. So if you've been able to go ahead and like just crack on the first 10 seconds of that video, that's where you could go ahead and play the video. So that's something which I think we need to go ahead and focus upon. I think be bold, be innovative, optimize, educate customers by proving yourself rather than talking about yourself, about what you've done. I think you just mentioned about how we could go ahead and use it from a industry. So I think a lot of tech industry has got multiple assets. Some of the platforms, machinery, the tech channels, and the other one are the assets and its people. So of course, platforms, demos, that could happen with the video. But now what tech companies are also doing is to use video as an asset to go ahead and help clients get to know about the other asset of an organization, that's its people, to see how people work, how people function. And that's where your 360-degree virtual reality comes into the picture, where the customer can actually connect with his team working across this countries to see what they're working on, what their priorities are, and how they're functioning, what their engagement levels are. So videos actually helping us to create on those hard assets of platforms and channels and tech, but also the softer assets, that's the people. So these things is what videos helping us connect.
No, absolutely right, Danveer. I feel, and you rightly pointed out the emotional connect that is needed, for any industry to establish with their customers or end consumers, right? Video is a very potent tool to establish that, right? Because it provides almost I'll say near real experience for the end consumer as well as customers. Promit, moving on to my last question to you. What's your recommendation to the audience to leverage the video marketing? Though Danveer did mention about virtual reality, and I'm sure it's catching up fast because people know that people who are using a VR augmented reality VR ad, what sort of target segment that is, right? So people are aware of that. But what would be your recommendation?
See, in terms of VR, I think while there has been a lot of progress, I think it's still got a little way to go, right? In terms of like the experience which you get in virtual reality still hasn't hit that level, right? And also the devices which are there are still not so affordable that it can be taken up by the masses. But I think it's coming up very soon. We do see a lot of cases where like Danveer was mentioning that you have these customer these centers, these labs or customer visiting labs where you want to make it virtual and bring a virtual reality aspect to it so that people can access it from people can access it virtually. I think that still has to be, I mean, the finesse still has to come in, and so that it can be scalable as well, right? But in the other terms, I think one of the reasons, I mean, one of the ways where video definitely is going to go, see, video is going to grow more and more, right? I mean, you can see that in terms of how, see, Amazon, Netflix, they're all, everyone's consuming video on their mobile phones these days, right? So it's just video is by default becoming the content format of choice, right? What we really need to figure out now is that how do we ensure that the analytics which is involved with the video can actually help boost the overall video marketing again, right? So for example, if you look at the kind of analytics which say Spotify has for audio content, can we get that similar level of analytics for video already? I know that TikTok and certain other apps already try and provide that level of analytics, but can we again get can we go to the next level where we can again figure out, like I was mentioning, what is the kind of body language which the person has, how is he or she moving, or what are the kind of expressions which are coming in, So I think those are some of the developments which video needs to get in. With I think 5G technology coming in, it's just gonna like skyrocket the consumption of videos, right? Because then video will be consumed as print was 10 years ago, right? So a lot of I think extensions in the technology space is going to change the way video is going. From a video marketing perspective, I think all the basic concepts of marketing still remain the same, right? You still have to connect with the customer emotionally. You still have to have a story which is authentic and which relates with the consumer. You still have to be the placement of your video has to be at the right channel. But I think these are the technological evolutions which are going to just skyrocket the consumption and also just make video marketing a totally different ballgame, I would say a year from now.
We all want to maximize it. Okay. Video marketing has been proving to be the one which yields a very high ROMI, right? And this is something that can be overlooked, but needs to be nurtured thoroughly if somebody is doing it, right? Because we have seen how Cadbury's and Thumbs Up could connect with all of us with high recall value, right, with their ads. And on the contrary, what Tanishq ad could accomplish, or should I say demolish, right? I could recall the video ad which was Ummeed Ka Diya on Deepavali by Hewlett Packard. Okay, the ad itself was so much interesting and connecting that I at least played it a couple of times to watch it. So the video ad helped it relate with the customers. That's the bottom line. Right. It's not only B2C ads, but we have been getting a lot of push ourselves from sponsors to put a video bite in these sessions as well. So there's all a testimony as to the video marketing is on the uphill or is going to boom. Okay, and with this I'll just wrap up because we're on the top of the hour. I'm confident you have enjoyed this enriching session as much as I did. Moreover, it's always beneficial to hear from the leaders directly. You can watch the past webinars on www.cxotv.news. We thank each one of you for taking out your time and attending this event and wish you all the success during these challenging times. I must share that Techplus Media is doing its bit in making India self-reliant under Atmanirbhar Bharat. With this, we call it a day. I thank you once again for your esteemed presence and wish you a great week ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.